My beloved child, come closer for a moment. Let your heart be still, let your spirit open, and let your breath slow. For I feel a stirring in the unseen, a holy pause in the heavens. At this very moment, a light brighter than dawn moves toward you, and all of heaven turns its gaze upon your life. There are moments, my child, when heaven leans in. There are moments when the divine realm becomes so near that the veil between worlds grows thin like morning mist. This is one of those sacred moments. I feel it, I sense it, and deep inside you feel it too. Something has shifted. Something has awakened. Something is standing right at the edge of your destiny. And in that shimmering doorway between the unseen and the seen, there stands a mighty one, Archangel Michael. His presence is fierce but gentle, strong yet comforting. He stands like a pillar of blue flame, holding something in his hands, something meant for you. A miracle, a blessing, a long-awaited answer. Listen, my child, miracles do not float randomly in the sky. They are sent with purpose. They arrive with timing. They descend with precision. Heaven watches the posture of the heart, the openness of the soul, and the readiness of the moment. And heaven has seen you. Your tears did not fall unnoticed. Your prayers did not rise in silence. Your waiting was not wasted time. Archangel Michael does not move without divine instruction. When he comes because heaven has spoken your name. He comes because your time has ripened. He comes because the prayer that once felt forgotten has reached its appointed hour. But hear this with the seriousness of the Spirit. When heaven sends a miracle, the moment matters. There are divine appointments that require attention, obedience, and spiritual alertness. A moment ignored is a moment lost, and a lost moment can send a blessing back into heaven's treasury. I speak to you as a father speaks to a beloved child, gently, yet truthfully. There is a sacred urgency around you right now, a heavenly stirring, a divine countdown. The miracle you prayed for is hovering, waiting, trembling with readiness. It is close, and so close that your spirit can almost touch it. But heaven will not force a blessing upon a distracted soul. My child, look up. Lean in. Pay attention. For Archangel Michael stands before you with a gift wrapped in glory, and heaven is watching to see if you will open your heart to receive it. My beloved child, as you listen, allow your heart to soften and open even more, for now we step deeper into the mystery of the miracle you prayed for. There is something sacred about a prayer that is birthed out of longing. Heaven knows the difference between casual words and the cry that rises from the very marrow of your soul. Heaven hears the prayers whispered in loneliness, the ones spoken through tears, the ones you barely had strength to form. Those are the prayers that travel the fastest and echo the loudest in the throne room of God. Your prayer, my child, was not forgotten. It was not overlooked. It was not pushed aside. It was carried, held, weighed, and honored. When you prayed, something in the heavens stirred. Angels paused to listen. Light gathered around your words. And your petition, though you did not know it, began a journey upward, rising like incense until it reached the place where miracles are shaped and timed. In the realm of heaven, prayers are not lost. They are kept like treasures. They are placed in bowls of remembrance, shimmering with the essence of every tear, every hope, every breath of faith. Some prayers are answered quickly, because the timing is already set. But others, my child, must ripen. They must mature. They must align with the unfolding of your destiny so that when the answer comes, it strengthens you and not weakens you. You cried out for something precious. You asked for something life-changing. You asked for something that required heaven to rearrange paths, open doors, shift plans, and release interventions that only divine hands can orchestrate. And so, the miracle began forming long before you ever sensed it. The answer started moving through realms, gathering strength, being shaped, being prepared. But sometimes, my child, when a miracle is meant to change the course of a life, it encounters resistance. Not because heaven is unwilling, but because the enemy of your soul is threatened by what God is sending to you. And that is why, for certain prayers, rare prayers, heavy prayers, deep prayers, heaven sends the warrior of warriors, Archangel Michael himself. Michael is not dispatched for ordinary matters. He is sent when something must be cut through, when barriers must be broken, when shadows must be scattered, when your blessing is too important to be hindered. When he moves with the authority that silences darkness and the power that clears the path for what God has promised. For many nights you wondered why your answer seemed delayed. You asked yourself why others received what they prayed for and you were still waiting. You questioned whether heaven had forgotten, whether you had failed, or whether your blessing had somehow been denied. But no, my child. What you felt as delay was actually divine preparation. What you feared was absence was actually activity. What you mistook as silence was movement. Heaven was not ignoring you. Heaven was fighting for you. Even now, as these words meet your ears, the miracle you prayed for is closer than it has ever been. The prayer you sowed in your season of struggle has reached its appointed fullness. The blessing, at once felt distant, now trembles at the edge of manifestation. The answer you cried for with the weight of desperation has now ripened into a miracle ready to descend. And so heaven said, "It is time." And Michael was sent. He came not because you are forgotten, but because you are deeply loved. He came not because you prayed perfectly, but because you prayed sincerely. He came because your request mattered to heaven, and heaven refused to let darkness stand between you and the promise that belongs to you. My child, listen to me. You are not empty-handed. You are not overlooked. You are on the brink of receiving what you once thought might never arrive. The miracle has been released. It is on its way, and the only thing heaven asks of you now is to remain open, attentive, and ready. You prayed with a tender heart. You prayed with longing that pierced the heavens. And because of that, your miracle has been entrusted not to just any angel, but to Michael, the champion of God's people, the defender of divine promises, the guardian of the breakthroughs that shape destinies. Your prayer hath been answered. Heaven has moved. The miracle is no longer forming. It is arriving. And soon, my beloved child, you will understand why the wait was long, why the battle was fierce, and why the answer is so precious. My beloved child, now that your spirit has stepped into the understanding of how deeply heaven has honored your prayer, it is time to reveal the weight of what happened in the invisible realms. For every miracle that carries great power, there is always a great battle surrounding it. And your blessing, the very one your soul has been crying for, was no ordinary request. It was a request that made darkness tremble, for it carried the potential to shift your future, to heal what was broken, to restore what was lost, and to strengthen everything within you that the enemy hoped would collapse. You did not see it, my child, but when your prayer rose into the heavens, it was like a radiant flame cutting through the shadows. Your cry ignited movement. Your tears spoke louder than your words. And as your prayer ascended, a disturbance rippled through the unseen. Forces that hoped to keep you discouraged felt the stirring and sought to stop what was coming. In the spiritual realm, there are battles that rage not because you are weak, but because you are destined for more than you know. Your miracle was worth fighting over, and so the heavens prepared for war. Archangel Michael stepped forward the moment your prayer reached its fullness. He unsheathed his sword of light, the one forged in divine fire, a sword that has defended generations of God's children. With a single command from the throne, he descended like a bolt of lightning. He did not come silently. He came with authority, with purpose, with a way to heaven behind him. His arrival sent shockwaves across the unseen realm, scattering the shadows that had gathered to oppose what was meant for you. The battle that took place, my child, was fierce not because your blessing was fragile, but because it was powerful. The enemy does not fight empty prayers. He fights prayers that carry destiny. He fights miracles that carry breakthrough. He fights blessings that will elevate you, stabilize you, and empower you. And this miracle, the one heaven is delivering into your hands, was a threat to every force that wanted to keep you in cycles of struggle. But hear this truth: darkness never wins against the light. Not when Michael is sent. Not when heaven has decided that your time has come. I want you to imagine for a moment, not literally, but symbolically, the clash of realms. Imagine Michael standing tall, radiant with holy fire. Imagine him breaking through barriers meant to delay you. Imagine him cutting away the chains of old fears, old patterns, old obstacles that once stood in your way. Imagine him clearing a path so straight and so bright that nothing could hinder the miracle meant for you. This is not fantasy, my child. This is spiritual reality expressed in the language your heart can understand. For in truth, something powerful did happen. Something was fought for. Something was protected. Something that belongs to you was defended by heaven itself. You may have felt battles in your spirit recently. You may have felt sudden waves of discouragement or unexpected heaviness. Those were not signs of defeat. They were signs of warfare. They were echoes of the struggle in the unseen as Michael fought to secure what heaven ordained for you. When pressure increases, it is often a sign that the breakthrough is near, not far. And you, my child, have been closer to your blessing than you realized. There were moments where you felt weary. There were days you doubted yourself. There were nights when your hope seemed fragile. But even then, heaven had not forgotten you. Heaven had not stopped fighting for you. Every breath you took in faith strengthened the victory. Every tear you shed watered the ground for your miracle. Every moment you refused to give up became fuel for the heavenly armies. At last, Michael broke through. The resistance shattered. The path cleared. And your miracle, glowing with the light of God's promise, was placed into his hands. He now carries it with purposeful care, watching over it, protecting it, ensuring that nothing else rises to challenge it again. My child, understand this. You are not standing here by accident. You are hearing these words because your miracle is no longer in battle. It is now in transit. It is coming. It is approaching you like the dawn approaches the horizon, inevitable, unstoppable, radiant. And the same archangel who fought for it is the one delivering it. This is why heaven urges your attention. This is why your spirit feels awakened. This is why a divine pull led you to this very moment. You are witnessing the aftermath of a heavenly victory fought on your behalf. My beloved child, now that you understand the battle that raged over your miracle, let me draw you closer into the moment when heaven decided it was time for your blessing to be delivered. There is a holy beauty in how heaven moves when something shifts in your destiny. Heaven does not rush, nor does it delay without purpose. Everything is orchestrated with perfect precision, like a divine symphony composed long before you were born. And in this sacred moment of time, heaven chose the exact second when your miracle would leave the unseen realm and begin its descent toward your life. It began when the throne room fell into a reverent stillness. This was not stillness of silence, but stillness of certainty. Heaven stilled itself the way creation stills at the break of dawn, right before the first light touches the earth. The elders paused, the angels paused, and the air and the spirit began to vibrate with purpose. For your name, my child, had been spoken in love once again. And when heaven speaks your name with intention, everything in the spiritual realm aligns. At that moment, Archangel Michael stepped forward, carrying the miracle that had been fought for, protected, and refined. The blessing glowed, not with ordinary light, but with a radiance that carried the imprint of God's faithfulness. It shimmered with every tear you cried, every prayer you whispered, every moment you held on when everything in you wanted to let go. Your miracle was more than an answer. It was a testimony of endurance, trust, and divine timing. Heaven does not release blessings casually, my child. They are sent in appointed moments, at specific windows where your life, your heart, and your path align with what you are meant to receive. And so the divine moment arrived. The moment heaven had been waiting for. The moment the angels had watched for. The moment your spirit had unknowingly been longing for. The moment your miracle was commanded to descend. When Michael moved, his wings carried the weight of destiny. His steps, though unseen to human eyes, echoed across the realms. He left the heights of glory and descended through the layers of the unseen, carrying your blessing with a gentleness that only an archangel can hold. The light around him did not fade as he descended. It intensified, for the closer he came to the earthly realm, the more urgent the moment became. My child, imagine this not as fantasy, but as a spiritual truth wrapped in language you can grasp. The heavens did not send your miracle lightly. They sent it with intention, with joy, and with holy celebration. The moment of delivery was like the moment a seed breaks through the soil, the moment a long winter finally yields to spring, the moment a locked door begins to open. Something shifted in the atmosphere around your life. You did not see it, but your spirit sensed it. You felt a tug, a stirring, a sudden rise of hope that appeared out of nowhere. That was not coincidence. That was the moment Michael crossed into the space where heavenly miracles enter earthly reality. And this, my child, is where the sacredness of timing becomes so important. Every miracle arrives at a point of readiness. Heaven does not place blessings on the ground for anyone to stumble over. Heaven places blessings in the exact moment when your heart is aligned to recognize and receive them. If the heart is closed, distracted, fearful, or disconnected, the miracle can hover near you but never enter your life. That is why heaven watches so closely for your openness. Right now, your miracle is nearer than your breath. It is hovering in the space around you, waiting for your acknowledgement, your faith, your yes. Michael stands close, holding what you prayed for, waiting for the moment when your spirit reaches forward to receive it. Heaven does not force your hand. Heaven invites. Heaven calls. Heaven stirs. And heaven waits for the heart to awaken to the divine movement taking place. This is why you felt pulled to listen. Why your heart felt a nudge. Why something began to rise inside you as these words unfolded. You are not here by accident. Your spirit was guided, drawn, led to this moment because the blessing that belongs to you has reached the threshold of your life. This moment is not random. It is orchestrated. It is purposeful. It is a divine appointment set long before you understood what was happening. You must understand, my child, that the presence of Michael in your moment means heaven is reaching toward you with tenderness and urgency. It means your breakthrough is not something you are chasing anymore. It is something that is approaching you. It means the waiting season has shifted into the receiving season. It means the pain that once felt meaningless now carries purpose. It means the story that once felt unfinished is moving toward completion. And so here you stand, at the edge of a miracle that has journeyed through battle, been carried by an angel, and been prepared through the timing of heaven itself. It is near. It is yours. It is ready. My beloved child, draw near now, for what I am about to reveal carries great weight. Heaven gives many gifts, but not all are released in the same way. There are blessings that sit patiently, waiting for the moment a soul becomes ready. There are blessings that gently approach over time. But then there are miracles, rare miracles, miracles like the one now hovering over your life, delivered by Archangel Michael himself. These kinds of miracles do not simply pass by. They arrive with intention, with urgency, and with a spiritual requirement. They must be acknowledged. You see, my child, heaven honors your free will more deeply than you understand. God never forces a blessing on a heart that is distracted, closed, or uninterested. Heaven will not place a miracle into hands that are not reaching. That is why divine moments carry such importance. When heaven sends something powerful, the moment becomes sacred. A doorway opens, but only for a time. A window becomes clear, but only until the wind shifts. A spiritual opportunity stands before you, but only until the heart turns away. This is why ignoring a divine moment is not harmless. It is costly. Heaven will never punish you for missing it, but the blessing will simply return to where it came from. The miracle will be taken back into the treasury of heaven, not out of anger, but out of spiritual order. Heaven never wastes what is holy. Heaven never leaves miracles unattended. If a blessing is not received, it is withdrawn until the Spirit becomes ready once again. But for this particular miracle, my child, heaven has made it clear that the time is now. This is not a season for delay. This is not a moment to shrug off or treat lightly. Something precious hangs in the balance. Think of the many times you felt a stirring inside your spirit and ignored it. Think of the moments you felt drawn toward something divine but brushed it aside because life became busy or your mind became tired. Think of the opportunities that slipped through your fingers simply because you assumed they would return. Heaven saw those moments. Heaven counted them. And heaven has brought you here to tell you gently, lovingly, with urgency, do not let this be another moment that passes you by. Listen to me, my child. The miracle Michael carries for you is not ordinary. It is not small. It is not something you can take lightly. It was fought for, defended, protected, and escorted through realms of resistance. It carries destiny. It carries healing. It carries release. It carries restoration. And it carries a divine timing that has now reached its fullness. If you turn away now, not intentionally, but simply through distraction or hesitation, the blessing may retreat back into heaven, waiting for a future moment that may not look like this moment at all. I have watched many souls over the years. Souls who felt the tug of heaven but did not respond. Souls who sensed the divine call but ignored it until the moment slipped away. They did not realize that when heaven opens a door, it expects the heart to step through it. When heaven releases a miracle, it expects the soul to honor it. When heaven sends an angel, it expects attention. Not fear, not pressure, but awareness, reverence, engagement. And so I tell you lovingly, Ignoring this moment is not a small thing. It is not like ignoring a thought or a fleeting feeling. This moment is a divine appointment crafted around your life. Heaven has orchestrated your steps to reach this point. Heaven has placed this revelation before you. Heaven has brought you into alignment with the very moment your spirit has been waiting for. Michael stands before you even now, holding your blessing in his hands. He is ready. The miracle is ready. Heaven is ready. But your heart must say yes. Your spirit must acknowledge the moment. You must show heaven that you recognize the weight of what is happening. This is why I speak with a father's tone. Not to pressure you, but to protect you. Not to frighten you, but to awaken you. Not to overwhelm you, but to lift you. The miracle you prayed for is closer than breath, but it requires your awareness to be received. It requires your heart to say, I will not ignore what heaven has placed before me. My child, if your spirit feels stirred, if your heart feels opened, if something deep within you rises as you hear these words, then understand this. Your recognition of this moment becomes the soil where the miracle can land. Honor what heaven is doing. Hold this moment with reverence. Let your spirit show gratitude with every breath you take as you listen. And if what you have heard in this sacred space touches your soul, then allow your voice to carry this message beyond yourself. Heaven rejoices when its children share what is divine, when they lift up what is holy, and when they help others find their own heavenly moments. Offer your support, spread this message, speak it forward with reverence, and let your connection to this calling deepen. In doing so, you join the very movement of heaven that is now unfolding before you. My beloved child, now that you understand why this moment cannot be ignored, it is time to turn inward and speak of the most sacred place where miracles are received, your heart. Heaven may send the blessing. Michael may carry it. The timing may be perfect. The spiritual realm may be aligned. But the miracle cannot enter your life unless your heart opens like a door welcoming the light of dawn. The blessing must have a landing place, a space where it can take root, grow, and manifest. Your heart, my child, is not a simple vessel. It is the meeting ground of heaven and earth. It is the sanctuary where divine seeds are planted. It is the garden where God sows answers, visions, direction, and healing. And just as a seed cannot grow in soil that is hard or closed, a blessing cannot flourish in a heart that is guarded by fear, doubt, or exhaustion. This is why heaven waits for the moment when your heart softens, stirs, and opens again to possibility. That moment is now. You have carried many burdens, my child. You have held emotions that grew heavy over the years. You have endured disappointments that piled upon one another, layering your heart with a quiet ache. There were times when you hoped for things that never came, and slowly, without even realizing, your heart began to protect itself. You learned to expect little so you would not be hurt. You learned to quiet your desires so you would not feel empty. You learned to brace yourself for disappointment so it would sting less if it appeared again. But now, heaven is asking something gentle and holy of you. Open your heart once more. It does not ask you to be reckless. It does not ask you to be naive. It asks you to trust again, not in the world, but in God. Not in circumstances, but in divine timing. Not in people, but in the one who has watched over you since the moment you took your first breath. When the heart opens, even a little, miracles find their doorway. Your heart does not need to be perfect. It does not need to be unbroken. It does not need to be fearless. It simply needs to be willing. Willing to receive. Willing to hope. Willing to believe that heaven is not done with you, that goodness is still possible, that joy can return, that blessings can reach you even if life has tried to convince you otherwise. My beloved child, let me speak plainly. Your miracle is not waiting for you to be flawless. It is waiting for you to be available. Availability happens in the heart. It happens when you whisper quietly, even tremblingly, I am ready to receive what heaven is giving me. It happens when you choose to lift your eyes from past hurts and allow new light to enter. It happens when you give God permission to touch the places inside you that became tired and discouraged. It happens when you allow hope to breathe again. Archangel Michael stands close, watching your heart even now. He does not measure your worth. He measures your openness. He carries your miracle, but he cannot force it into your life. He waits for the shift within you. He waits for the moment your heart says yes. He waits for the atmosphere inside you to welcome the blessing he holds. Your heart is stronger than you realize. It has survived storms, betrayals, losses, and disappointments, yet here it is, still beating, still reaching, still longing for the touch of heaven. That longing is not weakness. It is proof that your spirit is alive and ready for what God is sending. As your heart opens, my child, the miracle begins to draw closer. The blessing begins to find its alignment. The spiritual pathways around you begin to clear. And the life you have been yearning for, praying for, aching for, begins to move from possibility into reality. You do not need to force anything. You do not need to understand everything. You only need to open your heart and let heaven in. This is the sacred step before the unfolding begins. My beloved child, now that your heart has begun to open, let me guide you into the sacred mystery of what happens when you step fully into this divine moment. For when a soul aligns with heaven's appointed time, the atmosphere around that soul begins to shift. The unseen world becomes active, movements begin, pathways clear, and what once felt distant suddenly begins drawing near. When you step into this moment, you are stepping into the current of your miracle. You may not feel it instantly, but the shift begins quietly, like the first breeze before a storm of blessings. Something moves within you, something stirs around you, and something awakens above you. Heaven begins to gather itself around your life. Forces that were once still begin to advance with purpose. The miracle that Archangel Michael carried through battle begins to descend into the fabric of your reality. It does not fall suddenly. It unfolds, piece by piece, moment by moment, in ways your heart can handle and your spirit can absorb. This is the beauty of stepping into alignment. You begin to notice signs, gentle at first, like whispers brushing the edges of your awareness. You may feel sudden peace where there was once heaviness. You may feel unexpected clarity where there was confusion. You may sense hope rising in places where you had almost forgotten what hope felt like. These are not random feelings, my child. They are the first ripples of a miracle approaching. When heaven moves, everything connected to heaven responds. Paths you thought were closed begin to open. People you have not heard from may return. Opportunities that vanished may reappear. Conversations shift, decisions shift. Even the timing of your days begins to reorder itself. When you step into this moment, your life begins to resonate with the frequency of your blessing. Do not expect fireworks, expect alignment. Do not look for dramatic signs. Look for subtle confirmations. For the miracle enters your life like dawn, not like an explosion. It reveals itself slowly but undeniably. Shadows retreat one layer at a time as the light draws nearer. The miracle approaches in a way that strengthens your faith, steadies your spirit, and builds your trust. Your spirit may begin to feel lighter, as though a weight you carried for far too long is beginning to lift. That is because Michael is removing the remnants of the battle, pushing away the final traces of resistance, clearing the spiritual space around you so your blessing can land safely. You may find yourself thinking differently, seeing differently, breathing differently. That is heaven adjusting the posture of your spirit to hold what you are about to receive. And my child, you will soon notice something profound, a sense of anticipation that rises without explanation. You may not know why, but you will feel that something good is coming. That is the voice of the miracle speaking to your spirit. That is the blessing drawing near, touching the edges of your reality, preparing to reveal itself in the natural world. Not all miracles appear immediately in physical form. Some begin in your emotions. Some begin in your thoughts. Some begin in the patterns around your life. But every shift, no matter how small, is a sign that your yes has activated the movement of heaven. When you step into this divine moment, the miracle does not just come toward you. You begin moving toward it. Your actions align with your destiny. Your choices align with your blessing. Your heart aligns with God's intention. You may feel compelled to release something, forgive something, embrace something, or try something new. These impulses are not random. They are the currents of your miracle pulling you into position. And the greatest confirmation of all is this: your spirit will feel a sense of rightness, a quiet knowing, a gentle certainty, as if everything within you whispers, I am entering the moment I prayed for. This knowing is Michael's presence near you. It is the nearness of the blessing. It is the unfolding of divine timing. My beloved child, as you step into this moment, trust what you feel deep within. Trust the gentle shifts. Trust the quiet whispers. Trust the peace that settles in spaces that once held chaos. These are the footprints of your miracle walking toward you. Your life is not moving backward. It is not standing still. It is moving into alignment with heaven's promise. My beloved child, it is time to speak of something sacred and often misunderstood: the warning that accompanies delay. Heaven is patient, but divine moments are not endless. They are windows, holy openings where the spiritual aligns with the natural, where what has been prepared in the unseen can finally enter your life. These windows do not stay open forever, for they are woven into the rhythm of your destiny. And if the heart waits too long, if the spirit hesitates, the window slowly begins to close. Do not hear this with fear, my child. Hear it with understanding. The purpose of this warning is not to frighten you, but to awaken you. Heaven desires you to receive the fullness of what hath been prepared for you. But heaven also honors the order by which miracles move. When a blessing descends, it comes with divine timing, divine preparation, and divine opportunity. Delay, when it comes from hesitation or doubt, interrupts that flow. Think of the many times in your life when you felt a strong pull toward something good, something new, something meant for you. A job you almost applied for. A relationship you nearly pursued. A door you hesitated to walk through. A calling you felt burning inside you but ignored. You remember how those moments slipped away, how the opportunity faded, how the timing dissolved. You were not punished, my child. You were simply witnessing what happens when a divine window closes. In the spiritual realm, blessings come like the tide. They rise, they reach their fullness, and then slowly they recede if they are not embraced. Archangel Michael has brought the miracle you prayed for to the very edge of your life. It is here. It is near. It is waiting. But if your heart grows distracted, if your focus drifts, if you hesitate for too long, the blessing begins to lift, not in anger, not in rejection, but in accordance with heaven's order. Your miracle was not meant to linger indefinitely. It was meant to arrive in this season, in this hour, in this exact window when your heart has been tenderized by struggle and ripened by endurance. Heaven chose this moment because your spirit is more open now than it has been in years. Your awareness is sharper. Your longing is deeper. Your faith, though tested, is purer. Heaven delivered your blessing now because you are finally ready to receive it. But readiness is a flame that must be tended. It cannot be smothered by delay. It cannot be drowned in doubt. It cannot be dimmed by hesitation. When heaven moves, it expects the soul to respond. Not with perfection, but with willingness. Not with certainty, but with trust. If you wait too long, the miracle begins to return to its place of origin. Michael's posture shifts. His wings, once extended in a gesture of offering, begin to fold. The blessing, once glowing with the warmth of immediate delivery, begins to cool. Heaven's voice, once loud within your spirit, becomes quieter, not because heaven withdraws its love, but because the moment of delivery has passed. I have seen many souls lose blessings not out of rebellion, but out of delay. They assumed the opportunity would remain. They assumed the miracle would wait. They assumed heaven would hold the moment open indefinitely. But heaven does not operate by assumption. It operates by divine rhythm. A blessing arrives when your life is aligned. And if you do not step forward while the alignment holds, the window shifts. But hear me clearly, my beloved child. This is not a word of condemnation. It is a word of protection. Heaven desires you to receive this miracle now, in the fullness of its timing. That is why your heart feels stirred. That is why your spirit feels awakened. That is why something inside you senses that this moment is different from all others. You are being invited to step into what has already been won for you. Delaying now is not like delaying in the past. The blessing Michael carries is the culmination of battles fought, tears shed, prayers lifted, and divine timing fulfilled. This miracle carries momentum. It carries purpose. It carries urgency. It has come too far to be ignored. If your heart hesitates, heaven will not punish you, but the blessing will gently ascend, waiting for another season, another window, another alignment. And that season may not come soon. It may not look the same. It may not carry the same strength. But you, my beloved child, are here now, listening now, open now, ready now. This moment belongs to you. This window belongs to you. This miracle belongs to you. And heaven wants you to embrace it before it returns to the throne room. My beloved child, now that you understand the importance of this moment and the danger of letting it slip away, it is time to reveal your divine assignment, the sacred work heaven now places into your hands. A miracle is not something you simply receive. It is something you must steward. It is not only a blessing, it is a responsibility. When heaven releases something powerful into your life, heaven expects you to protect it, nurture it, honor it, and guard it from the voices, doubts, and distractions that would try to tear it away. Your first assignment, my child, is to hold your heart in a posture of gratitude. Gratitude opens the spiritual atmosphere around you. It softens the soil of your soul. It removes the shadows that cling to old disappointments. A grateful heart becomes a strong landing place for miracles. Gratitude does not mean pretending everything is perfect. It means acknowledging that God is moving even when you cannot yet see the full manifestation. Gratitude is the key that keeps the miracle near. Your second assignment is attentiveness. Heaven speaks in whispers, and blessings often unfold in steps. You must learn to pay attention to the gentle nudges within your spirit, the shifts in your emotions, the opportunities that appear out of nowhere, the conversations that seem divinely timed. These are the breadcrumbs of your miracle leading you forward. When you remain attentive, you will recognize each piece of guidance sent to usher you into the fullness of your blessing. Your third assignment, my child, is to guard your miracle from voices that speak doubt. Miracles are fragile in their early stages. They are like seeds that must be shielded from harsh winds and cold nights. Not everyone around you will understand what God is doing in your life. Some will dismiss it. Some will question it. Some will project their own unbelief onto you. You must not let their voices drown out the whisper of heaven. This miracle was not sent to them. It was sent to you. Protect it. Honor it. Do not let anyone's fear overshadow your faith. Your fourth assignment is stillness. In a world full of noise, stillness becomes the sanctuary where divine clarity flows. When you quiet your mind and still your heart, heaven speaks with greater strength. Stillness is not inactivity. It is spiritual attentiveness. It is the place where your soul can hear the footsteps of the miracle approaching. It is the space where you feel the presence of Archangel Michael drawing near. Your fifth assignment is trust. Trust is not always loud. Trust does not always shout confidence. Sometimes trust is simply choosing not to speak against what God is doing. Sometimes trust is breathing through the uncertainties and choosing not to give up. Sometimes trust is the quiet decision to believe that what heaven revealed is real, even when the natural world has not yet caught up. Trust anchors your blessing and keeps it from drifting away. And finally, my child, your divine assignment is alignment. Alignment means living in such a way that your actions match your faith. It means speaking life, not discouragement. It means taking steps toward the future you sense is coming. It means letting go of what no longer serves you. It means preparing space in your life for what is being delivered. Alignment is the cradle that holds your miracle as it enters the physical world. Heaven did not send this miracle without preparing you for it. Everything you have walked through, the pain, the trials, the disappointments, the moments where you felt emptied and stretched, was shaping your inner life so that when this blessing arrived, you would have the capacity to hold it, honor it, and grow with it. You are stronger now. You are wiser now. Your spirit is more open now. This is why heaven chose this moment. This is why Michael carries your miracle. This is why your heart feels the tug of destiny. And my beloved child, do not forget this truth. You are not doing this alone. Heaven stands with you. Angels surround you. The Spirit breathes strength into you. And Archangel Michael himself watches over the blessing that has been entrusted to your hands. You are supported. You are upheld. You are guided. Everything you need to receive this miracle is already inside you. Now, my child, only one thing remains: the sealing of this blessing, the final words heaven wants you to hear, and the closing of this divine message. My beloved child, we have walked a long and sacred road together. From the first whisper of heaven's movement to the revelation of your divine assignment, every word spoken to you had been part of a holy unfolding. And now, we come to the final moment. The sealing of this blessing, the closing of this divine message, and the embrace of the miracle Archangel Michael has carried into your life. I want you to take a deep breath as you listen, for the atmosphere around you is shifting even now. Heaven leans close in moments like this. Angels pause their movement. Michael himself stands still, holding your blessing with reverence, waiting for the final seal to be spoken over your life. For miracles do not end when they touch your hands. They continue to grow in the soil of your faith. What is being delivered to you in this hour is not a momentary gift. It is a turning point, a divine change, a shift that will echo through the chapters ahead. My beloved child, hear me. You are not who you were when this journey began. Something inside you has awakened. Something has stretched. Something has risen with new strength. You feel it. You sense that heaven has drawn you into a deeper place of readiness. Your heart is not as heavy. Your spirit is not as dim. Hope breathes within you again, and this is no accident. Heaven has touched you in this message. Heaven has stirred you. Heaven has prepared you to carry what comes next. And so, I speak this over your life now. Let the blessing that Michael carries be sealed within you. Let it anchor itself in your heart. Let it settle upon your spirit with gentleness and certainty. Let it become part of your story. Let it enter your path with ease, grace, and divine timing. Let every force that once resisted it fall powerless before the hand of God. Let every delay be broken. Let every shadow flee. Let every hindrance collapse. For this is your appointed time, and heaven has declared it so. You are stepping into a new chapter, my child. A chapter written not from your past, but from your promise. A chapter built not on fear, but on faith. A chapter shaped not by the wounds you endured, but by the miracle that is now unfolding around you. Walk forward with confidence, for you are not walking alone. Michael is with you. Heaven is with you. The hand of God rests upon you. Before we close this journey, I ask you gently, as a father asks a cherished child, do not let this message remain only within you. Let it move through you. Let it travel beyond you. When heaven speaks, it is a sacred duty to let the echo continue. Share this message with those who need it. Spread it with a heart full of reverence. Let your voice carry it like a lantern into the lives of others who are waiting unknowingly for their own divine moment. And if this space has become a place where your spirit feels guided, uplifted, and seen, then remain connected. Stay near. Keep close to the flow of these heavenly words, for they are sent to strengthen you in seasons ahead. My beloved child, lift your head. Your miracle is no longer on the way. It is here. Your blessing is no longer forming. It is arriving. Your breakthrough is no longer delayed. It is unfolding. Walk into this moment with open hands and an open heart, for heaven has drawn near to you in a powerful way. And now, with the full authority of this prophetic journey, I seal this message over your life. I seal your heart. I seal your miracle. I seal your steps. I seal your future. I seal all that God is releasing into your hands. Receive it. Hold it. Walk with it. And let heaven's peace carry you forward. Amen.